I knew of this girl because of my best girlfriend and more like sister. They are friends, but don't talk as much anymore like they used to. I remember her wanting us to be friends and things like that, but I never saw her in my freshman year. I never met her until this year. Boy, I wish I still didn't know her. We will call her the Aryan. The reason I'm choosing that one is because she has blonde hair and blue eyes like one, obviously, and also thinks that she's the shit because of how popular she is. She reminds me of Mean Girls, like that one that you would see as like the head of the group. She kind of is with these two other girls. They're like the blonde bitch trio, as I hear. They are always together and have each other's asses. It's not even funny. So Aryan really reminds me of that. But come to find out that they even fight, and one of them even told me it just depends on the day if they're friends. Like I said, Mean Girls. Anyway, this girl fucking despises me and I have no idea why. I never talk to her. She's friends with my guy best friend actually, Rolf, from my first story. I don't know who's more attached to the hip, Puppeteer and Glasses, or Aryan and Rolf. She like follows him around like a lost puppy. I can never talk to him alone because she always has to be next to him. I remember one time where I needed to talk to him about a project. I asked him if we could talk alone because I needed him to lift me in the air to see how far he can and for how long, etc. She told me that she wasn't going anywhere and just gave me the death look the whole time. I ended up not getting what I needed and just told myself another time. Rolf told me that she liked me for a while, and when he told her that he liked me, she didn't know at first. All she said was that I seemed weird. But then she thought I was okay. However, she constantly did 180s because the next thing I know, she hates my guts and doesn't like that I'm friends with Rolf. Anytime I'm around anybody and Rolf, I feel like I shouldn't be there. And that's what I hate. I shouldn't feel scared around my best friend or that I shouldn't be there. Who gives a fuck what other people think? Because of this channel and all my past with the dynamic douchebags, I feel so isolated and lonely that I can't even feel comfortable around some of my friends. That's not okay. Anyway, after that day where she said she wasn't going anywhere, when I just wanted to talk to my best friend about a project, I told Rolf how I felt, and he obviously told her to be like, what the hell, you know what I mean? And she said that I was the bitch and made her feel upset because of how I looked at her. I don't understand. Aryan is obsessed with me to where it's a new level of creepy. The only time I really get to talk to Rolf is through text because he sits next to me in our history class. She's in that class as well, but sits on the opposite side of the room. Me and him like each other, so we flirt a lot, especially through text. But even that was proven to be dangerous. One day, when I was on my bus ride home, I get a message from him. It was a picture. It was him, Puppeteer, and Aryan. Then another one was sent of the three of them, but the second one had glasses in it. More on the picture later. I knew something was up right away because he knows how I feel about them. He knows how much they hurt me, and he's told me that he agrees with me. So why would he send me a picture of all of them together? I knew it wasn't him, but decided to act like everything was normal. So I responded to him, cute, with these little pink hearts at the end. Anyone who knows me for a second knows that I attach those hearts to anything small. Like, hey, thank you, no problem, of course, great, cute, and so on and so on. And because I never talked to Glasses, Puppeteer, or the Aryan, they wouldn't know that. Rolf does, though. So it was more of a test to see if it was him. The next response after I say that is, I don't think my girlfriend would like that. From then on, I was just laughing the rest of the time. The conversation continued as they tried to be Rolf, and you could obviously tell there was more than one person talking. I know how Rolf types, the same way he talks. I told my other best friend about the messages without telling him anything else. I just told him that it was a conversation with Rolf, and he asked if there were other people typing. I then told him yes. Then he said okay because it sounds like so many different personalities, and I agreed. They made it too easy. They must think I'm really stupid to believe that was him to make me stop talking to him. What planet do they live on? Anyway, after around 20 to 30 minutes, he then texts saying it wasn't him and that I should know better to believe that wasn't him. I didn't respond to that message because I knew he was still at rehearsal with them. I didn't respond until like around 8 o'clock because I knew he would definitely be away from them unless they stole his phone. I wouldn't put it past him if they did, if I'm being honest. I responded then, saying I knew it wasn't him, but didn't want to respond anymore because I didn't want to risk them saying anything else. That way I could talk to the actual him later. He then responded saying thank God because he was so scared and worried that I believed it. We then hop on a call and talk about it. I told him, how could you think that I would believe that mess and that I'm not that stupid and he should know me better than that. And he said he knows but was still scared. I told him I'm not like them and don't just jump to conclusions and process things happening before I do anything, and he just laughed. He then asked me which part did I know it wasn't him because he told me he did say some of it. I then told him from the start that he knows that how I feel about them, so why would he send me a picture? He then gasped and said, "Oh my God, you're so smart!" And I said, "I know." And going back to the photo, he said that it was taken just for me. In the sense of everyone's pose in the picture was done on purpose. That's why he flipped off the camera, that's why Puppeteer stuck her tongue out, etc. I told him I kind of figured. He then proceeded to tell me that they looked through our messages and asked him if he liked me. When he said yes, they gave him a dirty look. Like, okay, thanks, I understand I'm not everyone's type, but neither are y'all, so if we like each other, who cares? It's none of your business anyway. Focus on your own love life. Speaking of that, not only was the photo aimed like intended for me, they were apparently talking about a lie that they were going to tell me and convince others as well. Basically, that Rolf was dating someone and that was going to be glasses. Whether pretending to be a girl or still a guy, that is sick and seriously messed up. How much more fucked in the head do you have to be to do that? You want me and him not to be friends that bad, or him not to date me that bad, so you will go to those lengths to get him to agree to it? I couldn't believe it when he told me that. You guys have something seriously wrong in your heads, I swear. You try to turn him against me all the time, and it's like, why do I matter that much to you? It can't be because of jealousy or anything like anyone else claims. There has to be something more to it. I swear, all of you are in this cult where I am stalked on everything I do and say and post. Do you really not have anything else better to do with your life? It's really creepy and sickening. Besides that, me and him talk about the Aryan all the time in class, as well as others. So, they saw everything I said. Rolf then said that she's mad I've been ignoring her messages. I replied that the Aryan never sent me any messages. And he said, yes, she did on Instagram. I look on my account, and it was in the requested to message slot. And I don't get notifications for those, so I never noticed. She sent me 3 paragraphs at different times. I also love how one of the messages started, I know you're seeing these, when no, I wasn't seeing them because I don't look at my requests. I thought I lost the messages, but thanks to screenshots and a lot of scrolling, I pulled through. She first called me out when I posted on my story that I was sorry that the show wasn't working when I uploaded it and that I would fix it. She then replied and said, but you said the show was shitty. Like it was a fact. I never said the show was shitty. I love the show and even told the director that in my email threads with her. She then continues saying that she thinks it's cute that she's the bitch when I talk all the shit about all her friends. She then brings up the dirty look and say she never gave me one. She was just confused because I was staring at her. She then says for me to go ahead and try to slap her. Her quote, bitch, I dare you because I'll go right back at you. Then says that she is the least bit scared of me and that no one stands up for me because I'm like this. She ends that one with, figure yourself out before talking behind my back because I'll hand it to you. First of all, I laughed rereading this. Second, I didn't start any of this shit. Them in middle school blew a small thing into a big thing and continue to drag it along. I don't talk shit. They do. You do it along with them, and I'm told even more than them, actually. It's like every day, it's what comment should we make about her today? And you do it right to Rolf, and he's sick of it. If they would just be adults and be like, who the hell gives a fuck anymore? None, and I mean none, of this would be an issue to this damn day. Period. End of discussion. Then, like I said before, it's because you don't have to be up his ass all the time. He has other friends too, and me and him shouldn't have to walk on eggshells just to talk. I just needed him for a second to check something for me for a project. You could have let him go just for a minute. It wouldn't have killed you. You always have to be next to him and walk with him and talk to him. Like, damn, give him a chance to breathe. Okay, this next part, here's how it went. She's definitely one of those girls who thinks they can fight. The ones that are all bark and no bite / bad bite, in my opinion anyway, by looking at her. When I told Rolf in our messages, and I said I would slap her, I said it because of everything that she was saying about me to him. I didn't like that she was doing that. She was saying lies along with the dynamic douchebags that I'm using him, that I'm manipulating him, that I say stuff about him when that's not true. Rolf doesn't even know what I would be using him for. It's crazy. I stopped reporting shit a long time ago because nothing ever gets done. A slap on the wrist, if anything, is all they would do. At least, that was always my experience. So, I'm not gonna lie, I did say that, but she's making it seem like I just want to do it just because. I don't just go randomly wanting to hit people. And I love that you're saying, I dare you, in quotes, thinking that's gonna make me be like, all right, let's go. She wants me to do it so that way when she reports it or we get sent to the office by a teacher, then she can say, I hit her first and get me suspended so she doesn't have to be there, so I can't be there anymore. I don't care if you're scared of me or not. I don't think I'm a very scary person anyway. People know I don't just fight to fight. I'm not one of those kids. I fight when I need to and it's necessary. The rest is on everyone else. I don't talk behind your back. I talk to my best friend about all the shit you do to me behind my back. You're a little mini puppeteer. You remind me of a lot what she does, actually. The only difference is that you're a bit more sloppy, in the sense that you let me know that it's you whenever you do something to me or about me because it's just that damn clear. I am figured out, so I don't need to take anything from you. Maybe you should sit back and reflect because it seems like I'm the one handing it to you. In her next big paragraph, she starts it with saying she knows that I'm seeing these, which I already covered, and then goes on into saying that she's not a stuck-up bitch and that I don't know her, so to not assume. She then claims that I'm too scared to say anything to her face and to not have her name in my mouth or messages. She tells me to grow up and to say something if I bother her that much because I have tons of nerves to act like that, in her own words. She then tells me that she saw the whole paragraph referring to my messages with Rolf and tells me she ain't dumb and ends it with that if I keep running my mouth, there will be a bigger problem than just her and the seniors. She also tacked on that if many people don't like her, to tell them to message her because she doesn't care. She says she has a lot more friends than enemies and that she doesn't talk to many people, so thanks is how she ended it. Okay, where to start with this? I should just hold up a mirror in front of me when I'm talking to her because some of the things that she says, I've said before. Yeah, I don't know you, but you don't know me either. All you know is what people have told you about me. That tells me something about you. That tells me that you just believe anything and that you have nothing in your brain to think about common sense. You never asked if any of it was true or made any effort like others have. You just took their words as the gospel. That tells me a lot about the kind of person you are. And you can't say that I haven't talked to you because I have and you lied the entire time. More on that in a bit. So, yes, I do think that you're a stuck-up bitch. However, I didn't just jump to that conclusion. Things add up. Also, I'm not scared to say what I want to your face, just like I know you're not scared to talk about me, considering you'd love to tell Rolf how you feel about me. The difference is, I've dealt with this shit before, with them. I'm not gonna have a little puppeteer after she leaves. Middle school was hell because of that little girl and her attached to the hip boy. I have already lost so much that I know I'll never get back because of them. Opportunities that rarely come for someone as young as me. I've lost friends, good friends, because of them. Not to mention my joy for what makes me happy. Theater and choir aren't what they used to be for me, and I dropped choir altogether, school-wise, because of that. I'm not going down all that again with you. It's bad enough I already have. You can kiss my ass. I do believe you're scared of me just a little bit, just like I know Puppeteer is. Because another thing y'all have in common is that you will talk all this shit behind my back and say all these things to anyone else, but neither of you said one word to me. Puppeteer in the last 4 to 5 years has not said anything to my face, just dirty looks. And you haven't said anything to me either. What's your excuse? If you're that mad at me for shit you started, please, by all means, try and win that argument. I'm grown up, which is why I haven't, unless I have to with a teacher like I have done. I don't have a lot of nerve. I'm just tired of your petty bullshit. So I wonder what she's referring to when she says that I'll have more problems than her and the seniors. The threat kind of concerns me, but we'll see. The seniors are leaving. What more can they do? Y'all are being petty asses over your own shit, making something small that didn't even last a year into this long production. Like, I know we are all actors, but not everything has to be so dramatic. So go ahead, since I'm still running my mouth. I've been suffering for months from you and them. I just didn't want to give in, but I don't care anymore. Y'all can go fuck yourselves. It can't be any worse than what they have put me through, physically and mentally. That's something I'll never recover. Also, I'm not stupid either. I know you go through your own drama mess in there with the higher classmen, so I don't know why I'm your biggest concern. Why don't you go play with them? I'm told that they don't like you very much either, as well as you're upset that this one girl is stealing all of your friends. What do I have that draws you into me that you want to tear me down? I don't feel sorry for you and whatever she's doing to you. You deserve. It can't be worse than what I've been put through. Go settle that with them and leave me alone. I don't understand why I'm the biggest, threat or concern to these people. I don't talk to them, nor do I want to. I don't do or say anything unless something is said first. It's like I can't defend myself. Maybe it's because I don't kiss the ground they walk on like they want us to. I don't know. But it's funny because why I talk crap back, or let's say put these out, they say I'm immature and childish, but will turn around and go back to talking crap about me like they are on the playground in kindergarten. Don't you guys see it runs both ways? Like, you can't throw stones at a glass house. Why is it okay for you, but a crime and immature for me? That makes no sense. I didn't think she was going to admit going through his phone. I love that she's bragging about it. I don't go through his to see what you say about me. I'm sure if I did, I would find so much that I could write a whole nother book if I wanted to. But I have more respect for him than that. He also told me later that it's not the first time you've gone through his phone. I asked him why he allows it. I don't even let my best friend, who I consider more like a sister, go through my phone. He then says that he told you no once, and that you said you didn't care, and then he gave up after that. He said that Puppeteer also has as well. What are you guys doing? Why do you care so much about us talking? I genuinely want to know, oh my god, this is not okay. He told me Puppeteer eventually stopped, but he lost count how many times the Aryan had gone through it. That is messed up. And yeah, he shouldn't be letting you go anyway. But he did say no, and you still did it. What if I took your phone and went through it, even after you told me no? You wouldn't like that, would you? You're disgusting and have no respect for anyone. I told him he needs to stand up for himself more in the past, and he agrees and says I'm right, but because he's known you for years, he just lets it happen and ignores it because he's used to it. You're taking advantage of him, and if anyone's using him, it's you! You're taking advantage of the fact that he will let you go through his phone just because he trusts you and won't give a fuck later. That is toxic and unhealthy and nothing how a friendship should work. I feel so bad for him, and he says he knows that he should, but won't because of how he is. That's fucked up, and I can't believe he puts up with it. I understand not wanting to go against your best friend, but even they have limits. Remember how I said I'm stalked earlier in this? Well, I posted pictures saying that I was proud of my two best friends in theater that were in the show, Rolf and my dance partner. Like 2 days after that post, Rolf texted me in class asking me if I told him, my dance partner, that he, Rolf, hated him. I told him no, I would never say that. I then asked my dance partner what the fuck, who told you I said Rolf hated you, and he said, the Aryan did. My blood was boiling. She was trying to turn Rolf against me again, and I'll get my dance partner to do as well. I think it's because he's really appreciated in the dance company and he's friends with them, but he's told me millions of times that he doesn't pay attention to that stuff because he hates the drama shit. So he was always nice to me to the point when I asked him to be my dance partner, he was excited to work with me. I don't think it was a coincidence that all that happened like 2 days after I posted that I was working on a project with the both of them, especially considering that Rolf told me that the Aryan keeps asking him about it, and when he finally told her to dance thing, he's helping me on a different one to help out my friend, she said, ew, why, and to not do it. I don't understand why it matters to her so much. I really don't. This is the final straw that made me decide to write this. We had our school musical come up, and I was in charge of filming it with my production company. We then make an announcement on our school news about it, and I read it because I was the head anchor that day. However, the cold-hearted president put the wrong picture up, and then World War III kicked off. We watch the news every day in my history class, and that's because you're supposed to play it during second, and I'm in this class. I only know 3 teachers that actually watch the news. Anyway, because it was the wrong picture, the people that were in/worked on the show like me noticed, and I explained that he made a mistake, and I corrected it on our Instagram and will personally make sure it's fixed tomorrow. Then this girl behind me started saying stuff about it. She was telling our teacher that the show needs a lot of work and that the background didn't look great and this, that, etc. Rolf was next to me and I could tell he was annoyed. Our teacher was laughing and saying things like that. I nervously laughed some of it off. I didn't agree with what she was saying fully. I have OCD and I filmed/edited the thing. I never noticed anything wrong with the background. I thought everything looked great. I even told Rolf that in class after she said that about the background. He told me he knew I said something but didn't hear what it was though fully. Then our teacher typed out on his laptop a Boris line and makes a joke about it. I laughed a little at that because of the wordplay, but then when he said that I should put it on the news, I shook my head no and said, God, no. The girl behind me said that would be funny, and I was quiet after that. Anyway, I didn't think much about it because I didn't say anything except for a little laugh because I knew the show was great. Next thing I know, when I'm in 4th, I'm getting a message from Captain to come to the studio during lunch. He then follows up with a message for all of us and asks if any of the officers had said anything bad about theater or the show. I replied no, and so did the other officers. I then head to the studio, and Captain tells me that he had to talk to me about filming the show. He was told that apparently I said that what I did on the news was done on purpose to make them look bad, that I was going to say a Boris line on the news, and that the show sucks. That I wish I wasn't filming it, the acting sucked, the background needed work, etc., etc. I was honestly shocked with the more words he said. I told him that none of it was true. He said he believed me because he knows I wouldn't do that. But the theater and choir director said that so many people were confirming that I said that and that there was even video proof. I told him what happened and that there was no way all these people could say it was true when only 3 people were in the room that were in it to hear and say something. I told him what actually happened, and he said, okay. He also told me that they said that they don't want my company to film anymore because I have bad blood with their actors. I'm lucky to have him as my captain. He told me the gist of what he said to her. He told me that she shouldn't believe all of her actors without getting my side first, especially knowing how things are with all of us, and that we should sit down and talk about it. At this point, I'm bawling my eyes out, but tried to play it cool, but Captain could see how much hurt I was. He asked me if I knew who did it, and I told him about the Aryan. I then also told him that it was the girl behind me, and that was saying all this stuff. He told me to relax, and that he was going to talk to them, and that he would come back to get me if everything went smooth. So I go to sit where I usually do and just curl up and cry even more and think, why? Why is this happening to me? What did I do to this girl to deserve this? What did I do to those people to deserve this? Over their own petty lies and over-exaggerations to make me look bad. It's not just this one time. It's years and years of bullshit and harassment. Please, I genuinely, and I mean it genuinely, want to know what I did to piss all of you off, that years and years later you feel you have to continue to bully and affect me and make others do it too, like the Aryan. It can't just be because of glasses, and if it is, holy shit, y'all are gonna be so screwed in the future. Y'all are way too sensitive if that's true. You say I'm immature when I'm not doing this. Captain comes back and says, let's go. When we go to the theater and the 4 of us talk it out, it felt like I wasn't being fully listened to, that no matter what I said, she was gonna take their words over mine. I then reminded her that at the very beginning of the year, I told her that there is some very, very old drama that happened with a lot of people in my class that I have with her, and that every year, like clockwork, something happens to me. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when and how big. I would say this is that time. After that, I think she kind of listened more, but I know she still trusted them. Thank God Captain was there, though. If he wasn't to help, I don't know what would have happened. She then asked me if I still wanted to film because she knows I take pride in this and knows that no one could make it better. Told her yes, and she got happy again. Then it was 5th period, which was my class with her, so I stayed. From that point to the start of rehearsal after school, I was crying. I felt so sick to my stomach and was scared I was going to lose my position. The worst part is that the Aryan is in my 5th with her, and I know she heard me crying in the back. She was probably laughing her ass off and enjoying it. I do know she was surprised to see me at rehearsal after school. Little tip, I don't bend easily. However, in the meeting, I was told multiple people came forward and I was wondering if one of them was Rolf. Me and him texted about it after class, and he knew I didn't say anything, that I was trying to brush her off. However, my anxiety wasn't fully believing him considering how they were trying to get him against me anyway. I thought they finally broke him, if that makes sense. I told him I was thinking about not filming and just quitting until they're all gone because I don't know how much more I can take. I'm strong and get back up, but I'm not bulletproof. He told me no and not to do that because that's letting them win. He was asking what happened now, and he said he was sorry. I told him I would tell him at rehearsal because I wasn't gonna actually quit. The second part is true. I'm not bulletproof, so I don't know how much more I have left, but I wasn't going to give up now. I worked too hard for that. He told me I better be at rehearsal, and I told him I promised. So I'm still crying at this point. as I'm setting up my equipment, and he comes over because I asked him to. I decided to see if he did. I told him that if he hated me and didn't like me like that anymore and didn't mean anything that he said to me, all he had to do was just tell me. Even though I was acting, the pain was real. He told me before I even finished that he didn't hate me and that he did mean everything he said about liking me. The look on his face and his reaction told me that he was telling the truth. That's when I asked him why I almost got fired from filming because of Second Today. He told me that was all the Aryan. I told him I knew that she was involved, but I know you leave class with her, so I was wondering if you did too. He told me no, and I told him that's what I thought but wanted to double check. I told him I stuck up for him when I was asked, but still wanted to know. I asked him if he had seen the video proof that's apparently going around, and he said the Aryan has it, but it wasn't of me. I asked him what he meant, and he said it was of her saying what happened. I asked him if he was joking, and he said no. That just seems childish to me. Why would you go and say you have video proof of something and then not have it? Imagine doing that about something more serious or at a job. I would fire that person real quick if it was me. Like, I'm saying this stuff about you, but I have my proof that I'm showing and proof that I'm not showing, but I still have if need be. The next day, which was open at night, I told Captain how it went when he asked if there was any problems, then told... The next day, which was open at night, I told Captain how it went and he asked if there were any problems. He then told me something that I didn't expect. The cold-hearted president saw our theater director and went up to her. He went to her and said sorry for the mistake on the news, and as the one who uploaded the picture, he was very sorry. She then said, "Wait, you're the one who uploaded the picture, not Alyssa?" And he said, all confused, that of course I didn't. I was on stage, that I had no control of what was being displayed on the screen in the control room. He also told her that after it was filmed that I pointed it out to him, and he apologized and said that it would be fixed tomorrow. When Captain told me this, I was shocked, actually. Captain then told me that he described it when he was telling Captain about what happened, like the look on her face, that she looked shocked, like she realized that she was being lied to, or at least manipulated with. That explained why she was acting a little different at rehearsal before the show. I told him thank you, and that I appreciated him doing that. He said of course, and that was the end of that. The show ran smooth, and I got it done and edited as well as like a little bonus feature that'll be out soon. The point is, I almost lost everything again, for the second time in my life, over lies, slander, and harassment. I finally felt like I was doing something with my future crew, and forgetting about all I was put through. But once again, whenever I'm happy, whenever I let myself see light, it comes crashing down one way or another. If it wasn't for them, I probably would have gotten kicked off. Don't get me wrong. Nothing they can do can stop me from acting, singing, and dancing. It's part of me, and with what I go through, it's the only thing, besides writing and filming, that makes me happy. I'm happy that the Aryan will be gone after next year, but it's sad that I have to be counting down the days for all of them to leave. High school should not be like this. These are years we're supposed to look back on with our kids and tell them about all the fun we had, and the same when we're even older in our careers. I hate that when my kids ask me about high school, I have to tell them about this. I will never let them go through what I had, and I hope in the future all of our kids read this and see what kind of people you used to be, I used to be, and that you will have to explain to them that your ego is more important than the life and well-being of someone that you didn't even know. As I was wrapping this up, I put it on hold to film our last show because it needed my attention, and I've been looking forward to this since last year when it was supposed to happen. Me and the director have been emailing about it for months, and I was very excited to finally see it. Of course, it was amazing as usual, and it never gets old watching it. I love it so much, and I think it's my favorite that she's ever done. But a few days ago, as I was touching this up, I got a message from Rolf that I couldn't believe. It read that I need to stop talking shit about the Aryan because she's not going anywhere. That she is more his friend than I'll ever be. And she doesn't just use him when she's lonely. That he heard me saying how I don't know how she has a boyfriend, but I'm just jealous that she has one and I don't. To grow up because I sound so immature. When I finished reading that, I began to tear up. I did not believe that was him that said that, but when I opened it, I had just gone into history and he was sitting next to me. I look at him and he looks at me confused. I then reply to the message saying, "Excuse me?" And what the fuck is he talking about? That I'm not jealous and don't care about that of all things. He replied with a blank face and then messaged me on Instagram and said that he did not send that message. I said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, that he did not send it." I asked if she did it again. He then said yes. That would make this the third time she has sent me something through his phone pretending to be him. At this point, I just broke. I was already from the show and other people and family issues that I was stretched so humanly thin as possible, plus 1,000. I hadn't gotten sleep in weeks because of school and the show to get to work on it, plus my actual job and all the pressure that I just broke. I began to cry a little, but because you could hear a pin drop in that room, I stayed as quiet as I could while messaging Rolf that I had it and was going to confront her after class. She wanted me to say something to her face, so I was gonna. He said that he wasn't gonna stop me because he already knew he couldn't. I told him that I was sorry when he was telling me that he didn't know what to do. I told him that I didn't want him to pick sides because that wasn't fair to him. He acknowledged that something bad was going to happen either way, and I said I understand. I told him that I wouldn't blame him or hold anything against him for what he did. Anyway, after class, I wait down the ramp, and I'm not gonna lie, I almost left and wasn't going to give in, but the second I look at her and say her name, and what the fuck, I fully snapped from everything I've been keeping bottled in for months and screamed at her. The entire time, she kept repeating that compared to me, she is the shit and high and mighty. That's why all the seniors love her and hate me. That I told her that's bullshit, and she said it's not, but okay. I kept asking her repeatedly why she hates me, and she wouldn't give me a straight answer. She kept saying that I have a lot of nerve to talk bad about her and her friends, and I told her it's because she does to me. I don't do anything on my own, that she always starts it, and she wouldn't acknowledge it. She just kept going on and on about her being right when she's not. She then accused me of telling Rolf to pick between me and her when I should already know he's going to pick her. I told her straight up that that was bullshit and that I told him not to do that. And she said that's not what the screenshots say. And I told her she was full of it. She said I could think what I want, and I told her to go fuck herself and walked away. I ended up having a breakdown for the next couple periods after. And I talked to Rolf later that night when he got off from work. He told me that she didn't know what she was talking about with the screenshots and that it wasn't true. I then brought up that I told him not to pick sides, and he said yes, that he knew that. He told me he almost said to her in that moment that that was not true, but he didn't. He also told me that he confronted her later about it and said that none of what she said was true and that she said she knew, but it didn't matter, that she wanted me to be upset. That girl is a demon, I swear. So even when I do go up to her like she wants, she still lies and can't accept responsibility. What kind of person does that when they have been called out? Anyway, I put out the first 2 books in the meantime, but then I get a message from the Aryan about an hour later after I put out my clarifications video explaining that this was going to be put on hold until now, obviously, because you're listening to it. It read that she hopes that I see and respond in a friendly manner. She believes that the Aryan story is about her and that she is respectfully asking that I do not post it. That I've said that there's always 2 or maybe many sides to every story, and that she's sure that only one side is getting posted. She continued saying that she has not posted anything against me and my friends and asking if I will respect her the same. She acknowledged that she knows we have personal differences and not saying we have to be friends. She's just saying that since we have 1 more year of high school together, if things can be civil and a video not go up. And that if a video does go up, that is my decision. However, her side will go up as well. She then ends it saying, "Thank you for your time and consideration." When I was told that she messaged me and read this, I couldn't believe it was her that typed it. It sounded nothing like messages that she has sent me before or anything like she talks. But when I told Rolf about it when he asked, and he said that it does and it doesn't at the same time, so I give her the benefit of the doubt. I will say I respect her for that comment, and I mean that. And like I've said before, the point of this trilogy was to not hurt, in quotes, anyone or anything like that. It was meant to just put out my side of the story on these 3 topics because no one cares to hear it and just jumps to conclusions and goes on their team. I respect you saying we have personal differences because we do, and I don't see us becoming friends either. I still obviously made the decision to post this, and the reason being is that you sending this message wanting a truce isn't gonna make up for everything you did prior. I appreciate it, really I do, and I already know how this is gonna look. I'm not stupid. However, I have the right to put out my side. You can go ahead and put out your own side. I have covered everything that has happened between us that I know about, including things about myself that I did. I wanted this to be as transparent as possible. Not just in my favor, but putting out the whole story since that's not done on its own for some reason. The only thing that could not be in here that you say is stuff I don't know. Otherwise, I would have addressed those to be fair. And like I said, transparent. You did, however, lie to my face when I confronted you, and Rolf knows you did. So I'm curious if you're gonna lie again when I've been honest and have even gotten it checked out, to be honest. I also feel like if I don't post it, I'm letting you get away with it. If I let you deter me from posting it, you'll get away with what you did to me. Especially considering that a few days after you sent me that message, I overhear you talking with Rolf about it. And then I overhear from other people that you're upset and that you're bringing it up to them and that you're mad at me for doing this. When it could be lies and it could be fabricated, but I hear it from enough people that I most likely believe it because of past experiences, because I haven't been proven wrong on it. And that just shows it was crocodile tears and that you didn't mean that message. I don't believe that you were sincere whatsoever. You were just trying to put out a fire, in my opinion. You didn't want me to bash you because you didn't want to get affected. I've gotten affected tenfold. And if you didn't want any possibility of getting in trouble or this happening, then you shouldn't have done it and just been a normal person. That's all I have to say on that. I wish you luck with it, and I will respond afterwards if it's stuff I have not already covered and it's lies and slander. We shall see, I guess. She may have not posted anything about me or my friends online, but she has said to the dynamic douchebags, as well as anyone who will listen, bad and degrading shit about me, and the only time I speak is when I get asked about it by the people who actually do want both sides. You tried to get my best friend as well as others to turn on me to make me have nothing. So you are a hypocrite, and I can't take the headache anymore. I run more of a risk with this one because this girl is a sophomore like me, so she's not leaving like the others are. However, she will be leaving the school after her junior year, so my only peace, in quotes, will be my senior year. Luckily, even if she still continues, I have big plans for myself and what I'm involved in, so nothing can stop me. I'm happy with the people that do care about me and don't give in to peer pressure to bully and threaten and harass someone else. I hope you're happy with your selfish, stuck up, mean girl ass Aryan.